What's up, guys? Today we continue our performance in the Tropicana Big Bet Poker. It's gonna be 25.50 with $50 ante, no limit hold'em, with bunch of interesting hands, stand-up games, and bomb pots, and a lot of fun. Let's jump into the action. So the first hand, we are in the bomb pot again, and this hand is happening right after the ace king against aces hand. I was trying to make myself feel better. I was trying to resolve these buy-in issues that I had in the moment, and they called me to play the bomb pot. I said yes, of course, because the bomb pot it was the one place I was winning money that session. So I came in, and it was very interesting hand with a 6-deuce of diamond on the flop, 5-3 of diamond, and 8 of clubs. So it means like I have some kind of monster draw, multi-way. And yeah, I decided to check in the moment. I'm not sure if I should bet myself first. Anyway, I checked, and the Kir bet into the field a very small amount, like 12% of the pot, 15% of the pot, doesn't matter. Few people called, button called, the small blind called, right? And I decided to call. Maybe I could check raise here sometimes, but it doesn't look so obvious because I just have a 6 high. Every other draw is dominating me, so a bunch of flush draws which dominating me, bunch of straight draws which dominating me. 4, it's not really good out because everyone could have a 6-7, right? So I decided to call, but I really wasn't sure what to do, especially in my kind of state of mind in the moment. So I check call. We are 4-way coming to the turn, which is 8, brings me a flush, but also pair the board. And Kir here decided to fire big into the field. After he got 3 calls on the flop, he bets again big amount on the turn. And it was already a little bit scary to me in the moment because it doesn't feel bluffy. You know, he got called by 3 people on the flop, top pair, paired on the turn, flush got there, and he bets again, very big. Someone should have a flush, right? Someone should have a trips. No one folding these hands, but he's still betting. Of course I called on the turn, but it was already suspicious, and yeah, I didn't feel good in this session. The things didn't work out for me as well as I wanted them to work out, and I already started to feel some pressure. I called the turn, and the river came a 9 brick, and what do you think, guys? Kir fired another bullet, and you know, some really bad thing happened to me in this moment. I just folded. I just didn't even take a time to think about it well. This is a really shame to fold here. I'm really ashamed to talk about this hand, but you know, it's cool to be able to observe how the game can influence my decisions, and that's what actually happened in the moment. So it's super easy. It's super easy call. It's like no-brainer call right now for me, for everyone probably who is watching that, especially when we see his hand. But in the moment, it was so frustrating. It was so difficult that I didn't even take time. Okay. Yeah, you can write down in the comment how bad I am. I know that. In this moment I was really bad, but it's okay. I extract some lessons and going further. After the bomb pot, we started to play stand-up game. Now it's really popular and famous. You probably guys familiar with that, but I'm gonna explain it in a few words. So in basic, it should be like everyone standing and we starting to play. Once you win a hand, you can sit down. The last standing person has to pay everyone certain amount of fee, a certain amount of loser's fee. Normally it's like 4-5 big blinds. In our case it was like 200 bucks everyone. So it means like if you lost you pay like 1200 or 1400, depends of how many players are participating. It should be participating everyone, of course, because the game become more loose and more active, and people is going a little bit crazy. On the stream we didn't stand up because of the stream issues, and we just had a special chips. Like if you win a hand you got a chip, the last person without a chip is a loser. So in this moment we started the game, and everyone already got their chips except me and my neighbor Francis and me. We kind of heads up to win the to not lose the standing game. So what's happening now is just I have my first word on the cutoff and I have 9-10 off. I'm of course raising, but I feel like Francis is on my left on the button, Kir is on the big blind. I'm probably gonna have a lot of action right now. It's gonna be hard for me to win the pot, but I still have to raise. So I'm raising. Francis on the button is folding king deuce off, but I think in this kind of situation he probably needs to free bet this hand, but he folded. And what happened next, that Kir on the big blind just decided to surprise everyone and folded his jack 6 as well. And it means like here I didn't lose and got some fresh air because I really need it. I think if I would lose this stand-up game, it would probably like a final bullet into my head. So in this moment the hope was born that I can finally got there and made this stream look a little bit better. Okay, here we continue in another round of stand-up game. It's just the beginning. I'm raising a king 7 suited on the button. There is a straddle in play, and Francis now is finding the interesting free bet with jack 9 off from the small blind. I was going to call this free bet for sure because of the stand-up game, and I have quite a strong hand on the button in position against the guy who is also chasing the coin. But Kir here found the nuts on the big blind, queen 3 of spades, and he's going for it. He's going for the cold 4 bet, and I really like this play. He's kind of feeling the situation that I'm opening wild, the Francis is free betting wide, and he's finding this cold 4 bet with interesting hand. I think in my shoes I need to shove also pretty wide here, but my king 7 suited is definitely too loose. Probably pocket pairs and suited aces and I don't know, maybe king queen off, something like this. Maybe king queen off is too loose, maybe suited Broadway, it would be nice to shove. Yeah, something like this. Ace jack off, ace 10 off maybe. Yeah, it's fun. It's cool thing about this game that is absolutely not solved, and it's impossible to solve because everyone is implementing their own strategies. And yeah, that's the best part of the game right now. All right, going next. Still the same round. I'm opening nines from the cutoff. It's like nuts in this moment. I'm not folding it, whatever happened. And I raised to 250. Francis folded ace 5 off on the button, and the big blind D hawk decided to free bet me. For me in the game it was very easy shove. I didn't even think more than 10 seconds. I think tens we already can consider in calling because it's too strong and it needs a little bit less protection. But nines, it's somewhere there that just want to shove, get this chip, win some money, and that's it. But calling is also appropriate, I think. Also, Seven-deuce game is going on, so we're now playing like stand-up game and Seven-deuce in the same moment, and the Seven-deuce game also counts. And if you win the hand with Seven-deuce, everyone is paying you 200 bucks. The last folding person pays you 300 bucks, and also you can choose the one who is back standing. Like if someone already got the chip, if you want a hand with Seven-deuce, you can lift like you can take this chip back, and the person gonna be participating in a stand-up game again. That's the best thing. So I have Seven-deuce suited under the gun, and it was like in this moment there was no fold equity pre-flop at all. It was already limps implemented into the everyone's strategy, so I think it's just the best moment to limp and see what's gonna happen. So I limped, everyone limped. It's just like best case scenario, and the flop came 4 5 6 all clubs. So I have a flush and I have a open-ended to straight flush. What a great moment. I really felt like, wow, I'm genius. I lit 25% of the pot, got several calls. Everyone is happy and they don't know that I am here with the Seven-deuce of clubs and planning to take their money and dominate this game until the turn came, which is Queen of Clubs, the disaster card. Now I'm losing every single club, and of course my opponent has a lot of clubs after calling my bet on the turn. But Kier decided to bet just 50 bucks into the pot, 1k. Got few calls, and for me of course it's easy call with my straight flush draw out, so I decided to call, praying for 8 of clubs or 3 of clubs on the river, not knowing that my 8 of clubs out is already dirty. But the river came a 4, not luck for me. The guys are betting and re-raising, and I'm just folding my hand, of course. It's easy fold, and I couldn't believe it happened because it was would be a really epic situation. Yeah, I honestly didn't run really well on this session, but okay, let's move on. So here are our results. I'm still the biggest outsider, but at least I started to play the hands. Yeah. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen next. Yeah, that's interesting hand. I add on to 10k and I'm on the big blind with the ace queen off. There are raise and call from Pizza Tony, and I decided to squeeze. Not really big actually. You can go a little bit bigger, like 1100, but in game I probably didn't count it well. But it's okay. I mean, it's a decent size considering the wide ranges which the guys playing. So I squeezed, and Kier, as a caller pre-flop, he called my squeeze. So the initial raiser folded and Kier called, which makes his range really weak in my eyes. And yeah, I'm gonna use it post flop for sure. The flop came king 6-4 rainbow. I didn't hit it, but I think it's a good flop for my range, obviously, definitely. And Kier absolutely sure missed this board. The best thing he could have is a set of 6s and 4s, but it's really little amount of combinations, and most of his range is something like he has in the moment. So I bet really small to give him opportunity to call me wider on the flop, and which he did. He called with the jack 9, which is great. Turn came 6, and this is the moment I don't want to bet anymore and just want to have this hand as a bluff catch, because I'm thinking he's gonna have a lot of air on the turn which he needs to bluff, which he does. He bets on the turn really small. I call, and the river come interesting card is an ace, which is great and bad card at the same time, because this card is obviously good for me, and because I being a pair with an ace and potentially win against his small pocket pairs or something, but I think his range was so wide that he has more air than made hands, and this kind of scary card for him, and he is not able to bluff anymore on this run out, which he didn't, and he checked back his jack high, and I won the decent pot, which is obviously great in my position. So this hand is from normal game. We are not playing stand-up anymore, but there is a straddle in game. So I'm raising ace 9 suited from the cutoff, and here my opponent of the stream is calling from the big blind. The straddle folds, and what do I do? What do I think about his calling range? In game, I thought it's extremely weak again, because I expect him to 3-bet me pretty wide, and all his stronger hands he's probably 3-betting. The hands like ace queen, ace king, stronger pocket pairs, some suited Broadway, and of course I didn't expect him to have a hand such strong like ace queen off, but he did it. He had it in the moment, but I got lucky on the flop. It was ace 5-9, and I have top 2. What a miracle. As I said, his range in my eyes and my perception was really weak, so I decided to bet really small to give him opportunity to create something, and I was really expecting him to check raise this board a lot, and he did it. He check raised my small bet to my 150 bet to 800, which was music to my ears. I was like already thinking like how I'm gonna be winning the biggest pot of the night. So I'm calling his check raise and praying for the blank turn, and it comes. The turn is a free offsuit, and unfortunately Kir decided to check. And this moment I thought that he's still really weak. He just check raised something which he decided to just give up on the turn, but I still decided to let him an opportunity to do something against the smaller bet, because I didn't expect him to have a stronger hand ever. So I decided to bet small on the turn again, expecting him maybe to check raise again, but when I bet 500 he just called, and this moment I realized that he has something, some kind of showdown value. And when the river came in 9, this is the moment to start go really big with my hand. In game I decided to bet 3.5k, which is slight over bet. Now I think you can go even bigger, like 4k, 4.5k. Maybe with a good dynamics you can just go all in. Of course, if I go all in, he could in this stream playing so tight, he could definitely fold his hand, but against my a little bit more than pot bet size, he snap called, and this is a great result, and $10,275 pot going to our direction, which is great news. Now we actually have already 18k. It means that we are such close to break even, and I have a king 9 suited on the small blind, middle position raised, a Pizzatoni called, and I call on the small blind as well. Flop came Jack 10 of spades and deuce of diamonds, which means we have this kind of monster draw again. I decided to check. The initial raiser bet really small, and Pizzatoni did a raise. The situation is already not super good, I would say, because my hand is strong, but at the same time it's weak, because I'm losing every good draw. Like king queen is beating me, nuts flush draw is beating me, my out to the queen cannot be the nuts out. I can lose a stack against a king ace king. So the situation is, you know, quite shallow, I would say, but there is nothing I can do, just call. I think it would be terrible idea to re-raise and get it in with my hand, but to fold it also would be very nitty, so I don't want to do that. I decided to call. And in this kind of environment, I think it's gonna work well, because the guys are not applying too much pressure on you. And after I called, Kagome decided to call his nuts flush draw as well. But I think in his shoes he could potentially think about re-raising, because, as I said, he has a nuts flush draw which dominates all the draws we could have with Pizzatoni, and we could have a lot of draws, and he could apply pressure for some of the top pairs as well. But he decided to call, which is great for my hand, and the turn come a king. Obviously good card. Now, as we see, I'm ahead of they both holdings, but turn went check check check, and the river is a queen, which absolute disaster. Now I'm losing to every ace. I have a 9 high, like I have king high straight with a 9, and the one thing I can hope for is just to win at showdown against kind of two pair and sets hands, which is very rare. So I checked, the guys betting and re-raising each other. For me was easy fold, and the 2k pot went different direction this time. Okay, new results. I'm around 17.5k, which means I'm losing only a little bit over the 6k, which is obviously great, because in the moment I was losing around 14. And we are starting to play the new bomb pot. Here I have a piece again, it's an open-ender with a 7-5 on the 6th deuce 4 rainbow board. Johnny Vibes on the button decided to bet his 10 deuce off. We got few calls, and for me it was easy call. I don't think we can re-raise our hand here. Probably we want something with the backdoors at least. But when the price is good, when there are a lot of people into the pot, I don't see the reason to go in crazy. So I just called, and the turn brought a 10. Everyone checked to Johnny, and he go big this time. He bets 2/3 of the pot, and I faced really difficult decision here. I didn't know what to do, but Johnny at some point thought that everyone's folded, and he said in game that he got there on the turn. And I don't know if it should influence somehow my decision. Maybe I need to call and bluff every river which close any kind of draw, because he obviously never has a strong hand, maximum two pair, saying that he got there on the turn. You know, he could have potentially pocket tens and somehow some kind of two pair, but in the game I was really frustrated. I didn't know like how should I play my hand, so I decided to fold, which is probably not the best play. Let me know, guys, in the comments, how would you play this game and how would you perceive his talk, like he got there on the turn. Like what can we do now? Would be appreciated for your feedback. And this is the last hand of the stream. We got lucky and we got aces on the button. Everyone's folded to us, which is not ideal, but we still have blinds. I raised to 150 and Johnny Vibes called. The flop came 9-6-6. I decided to bet small and Johnny did a like instant check raise, which he was doing during the whole stream, like he was waiting someone to bet and saying raise. That the same thing he did in this moment, and actually in game it felt like it looked on the weaker side more than on the stronger side, but in game he had trips. Of course, when I bet this kind of board with aces and got the check raised, I'm happily call, and that's what I did on stream. But the turn brought a 9. Obviously not a great card for me, because Johnny could have a lot of 9s in his check raising range on the flop, but he could still have a lot of not made hands and even lower pocket pairs. The river came as 7. Johnny made a sip of beer and pots. Of course, for me it was a snap call with my aces, but I got the bad news and I lost this pot to the full house of 6s with 9s. It means like last hand we lost, and our winnings became even less, or our losings during this stream became bigger. I finished with 13,625, which means I lost around 9.5k. It could be worse for sure, but it could be better, definitely. The main thing I learned on this game is there are many factors in poker which we cannot be ready every time, and we need to think about it. We need to prepare not only the mental part or our game plan, we just need to think about a lot of small stuff. How comfortable we're gonna be, how much money do we have with us, how big are stakes, how much money we can easily lose without having some kind of mental issues in game, being scary of the money. And that's what happened to me. But the good thing that I learned from my mistakes, and next time I came stronger. I'm gonna show you it very soon, but for now, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, enjoy the show. And of course, if you didn't hit this like button, if you're still not subscribed, please do so. I would be really appreciated, and have a great day. Bye.